guys, welcome to Most Craved. I'm Jenna Busch with Legion of Leia.
I'm Silas Lesnick with ComingSoon.net.
And we are joined by the lovely Kim Horcher.
Hi.
Hi. All right, so we've got some really geeky stuff to talk about today, starting with Jessica Jones. So how far in are you guys?
I'm only 2 episodes deep.
Okay.
I finished it.
Me too.
Oh no.
Well, we can't spoil anything anyway, so breathe. We're not gonna say anything that you don't know. And I watched them all in one day because I had to write something, and that really messes your head up.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say, but what did you guys think, or what do you think so far?
I'm really liking it so far. David Tennant is giving me chills. I'm a little scared of him, but I want more from him. I think he should always play a villain. Like,
So
we didn't
good.
think this from his vast Doctor Who history, but damn, he's good.
He's so good. I can't honestly, I don't know if I'll ever be able to watch his episodes the same way of Doctor Who, because he's really creepy. What'd you think?
I have mixed feelings. I loved it. I thought as a series it was fantastic. I think it's really cool. However, it's very different than what I thought it was going to be. And there are elements of what I thought it was going to be that I do wish was part of it.
Like what?
Honestly, I thought there was a little too much time devoted to the Purple Man Kilgrave. He just becomes almost as much of a focus of the story.
Yeah.
And I kind of wish the comic has a really great, she's a PI in the Marvel Universe, so every case she investigates has these tinges of the bigger universe to it. And I was a little let down that this series sort of went out of its way to, I mean, you see the New York skyline, the Avengers Tower's not there, and it seemed like there are plenty of times that it could have tied into the bigger universe and it didn't.
I'm wondering if that's going to be something that they do, because they had Daredevil. There were only little glimpses of things. They've this little glimpses of things. I kind of feel like they're going to open it up at some point. One of the things I particularly liked about it was that this wasn't a female superhero show. This was just a superhero show, and all of the leads were strong. Everybody, the casting was mind blowing. It's driving me crazy that Trish looks like Alicia Cuthbert from 24 and Happy Endings. It's been driving me nuts since I started watching it.
I love Rachel Taylor. When I
wonderful.
first started doing this, she was one of the first people I interviewed because she had a movie called Shudder, and she was just the nicest person. I think the first celebrity I ever interviewed where I was like, that's a great person.
That's awesome.
So I'm really happy she's so good.
I
on
was
this.
talking to someone about her on my show, and he was distraught because he thought, she looks like Carol Danvers. She should be Captain Marvel. What is going on?
Yeah. Well, that was an early plan, obviously, but then they gave her own movie, so she couldn't really do that. But one of the things I liked about her is that this character, Patsy Walker, is a very early comic book character from Marvel, and she was in a lot of teen romances and things like that. And she had red hair. And they talked about, in the show, this is not really a spoiler, that Trish's past is as a child star who had wore a red wig. So I think that's actually a really cool nod. So, but the other thing I really particularly liked about it was that the way they handle sex. So much sex. So much sex. Bed-breaking sex. But it's sort of done in a way that, it's just another thing that people do. There's no big...
It's not sweeping and romantic. It's
Yeah,
also
it's
a little awkward.
There were definitely so much, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, they're not pretty sex scenes, but I think it's cool, and I think that on the flip side of that, the way they handle the fact that this is mind control, so rape is involved here, but they don't show it. You get all of the idea of the trauma and the awfulness that comes from it, the lack of control, which is sort of the whole idea of Kilgrave, but I don't have to watch it, which is something that was an issue with Game of Thrones.
There is something, and I don't know quite how to feel about it, but in the comics were going for more than a year before the story of Kilgrave was brought into it, and you learn about Jessica Jones's past. And there was something that bugged me a little, that we didn't get a little more time to see her just be a person.
Yeah.
And she's sort of defined by this trauma.
Yeah.
Which I kind of wish she existed before that.
Yeah, with a shorter season, they kind of had to. But I wish I had seen, because you sort of get her past there's a particular episode where you find out where she decided she wanted to be a hero and all of that. But I wish I'd seen more of that too. My guess is after this, when we see her in the future, she won't be as defined by it. But I definitely see what you're saying. So, speaking of Game of Thrones, that poster happened.
Mm-hmm.
So The whole thing about Jon Snow being dead.
Well, I mean, if you're as into spoiler culture as I am, and you're looking online for set pictures and what have you, you already have an idea of what might be ahead. And I think many fans have various theories. I don't know how much I'm allowed to talk about them here, but it's just
theories. You can say anything because the thing is, it's not in the book, so we don't know.
But you know, people have like, oh, it's going to be Melisandre, and we'll forgive her for that other thing she did.
No, we won't. No, we won't.
Or you know, he's going to perhaps die in snow and be reborn in blood. Huh? Coded.
Will he be called John Blood?
No.
Oh, that'd be good. We like it.
I'm John Blood. I got a new attitude. But
I'd
also,
be fine with that too, actually.
His blood is like, this blood is splattered differently from when we last saw him.
Yeah.
Because before there was a trickle right about here. Is this after another altercation? Did something else happen?
Yeah, and now if he dies, his watch ends, so he doesn't have to be part of the Night's Watch anymore, which I think people are saying might set him up to take the Iron Throne. And you know, part of it is that like from a storytelling standpoint, if you've gotten to the point where you have this significant look between him and Melisandre, between him and Ice Dude. That's his name, Ice Dude.
Ice Dude?
Ice Dude, yeah.
I don't know any of the characters' names.
That's okay. Ice Dude. See, Ice Dude is not his actual name, but that's what I call him because we're buds. But you have these significant looks, and if you don't pay that off, that's bad storytelling. So, I mean, and the fact that he's been on set and they've seen him in costume, and sure, it could be a funeral, but it probably isn't, and then that. So, I don't know. I mean, obviously, there were always going to be fan theories that he was coming back in some way. I mean, if you've set up Resurrection on your show, of course, that's a thing. But I think they maybe could have kept it a little more secret that he was filming in Ireland. I don't know. What do you think?
Maybe they'll pay it off right away, you know, and
That's
not
true.
hold it out for several episodes. It could be the first 20 minutes or so that we figure out what's going on.
Yeah, that's true.
Or maybe it's all a big misdirect, and they were like, "We're gonna have you next year, but
Psych.
you're just gonna hang out on set and confuse people."
You just really like your castmates, so we'll just all chat. It'll be great. Yeah, and another big thing happened, and we don't have it up here, but Captain America Civil War trailer debuted. And wow, what'd you guys think?
I'm super excited. I think that Winter Soldier was the best Marvel Cinematic Universe movie so
That's
far.
my favorite too.
And I have full faith in that movie just being awesome.
Yeah. What did you think?
I just watched it here with you guys because I have been in a fallout shelter all week and I don't pay attention when I go home anymore. But it was really cool. We did know a little bit about, you know, the division, who's on what side, or maybe there are some double, triple agents, we don't know. I did like that final scene with the three of them all fighting each other. It was very exciting and upsetting. And we also got glimpses of some new characters.
Yeah, there's a glimpse of Black Panther, who I'm so excited to see. So excited to see.
Some people are saying Spider-Man was in it,
I
but
didn't see
you
it.
disagree.
Well, I didn't see it. I mean, I know that there are freeze frames that sort of there's a red and blue thing. Could be, but I didn't see it. So
I didn't either. I suspect Spider-Man's not a huge part of the movie.
right. I think it's going to be like a tiny little bit of an intro. But we were saying before we shot, you were saying that like it's a good way to lead in with Bucky, and I think so too.
Oh yeah, I think when you look at it, my guess is that Tony Stark's going to find out that Winter Soldier was somehow involved in the death of his parents, who died in a car accident, but it's sort of been implied there was foul play.
Yeah.
So if Bucky's best friends with Captain America, but he also is responsible for the death of Tony Stark's parents, that makes for a good personal divide on beyond whatever the bigger world argument is over superheroes.
Well, one problem I have with it, which maybe will be dispelled when we see the film, was that in the comics it seemed more like there was a closer bond between Iron Man and Captain America.
Yeah.
Whereas they've always been feuding and, you know, clashing with each other. I think it would be more devastating at this point if we saw this great friendship, you know, be tested and broken and crumble.
Yeah, and I mean, I think, you know, obviously I've talked before about issues that I had with Avengers Age of Ultron, and, you know, that was obviously not my favorite Marvel. I mean, if we're talking about, like, bad movies, good movies, it's, like, right there, but it's my least favorite, I think, of the Marvel movies, and I feel like a lot of the relationships were kind of squandered in that, anybody with Tony Stark, because I felt like his storyline was kind of I don't know. I just felt like he was very glib through the whole thing, like that you never really saw anything really affect him. And so when he's talking to Cap and he's like, "I was your friend too." Like, I don't know. It didn't have the same emotional weight. That
Honestly,
it
I
would.
thought that gave it more emotional weight.
Really?
The idea that maybe to Tony Stark, that is his friend, and the idea as
because
a
he's so broken.
Yeah,
that's true.
that
That's
hurts.
I thought I love that delivery of that line. Is like you sort of see this pain in him.
Oh well, I'm glad we're going to see something other than snark. Because
Yay.
there was just a little too much snark for me. But I'm totally cool with the trailer. I think it looks like an absolute blast, and this is one I've definitely been excited for. And Black Panther and Captain Marvel. All right, fine. I'm excited for all of them. It's fine. So, all right. So, one quickly before we wrap, what are you thankful for since Thanksgiving is coming up in the geek world?
Probably Ash versus Evil Dead.
Yeah.
I've only seen the first 2 episodes. I haven't actually owned a TV that plays TV in about a decade now, so I can't even sign up for Stars. As soon as the set comes out, I'm going to buy it and watch the rest of the episodes, but I thought the first 2 episodes that they sent me were so good.
That's awesome.
I forgot that you asked this question, and there is so much to be thankful for because, it's a great time to be a nerd. And we have, I don't know, Fallout 4. I'm excited for Star Wars The Force Awakens, which is really soon. And I like all the stuff around it. Like, I'm going to go to Disneyland for the Season of the Force, and all of, people don't like the merch, but I like the merch.
I'm fine with the merch.
Take it.
fine with
You
the
made
merch.
the thing that I want. I'll buy it.
Yes, I will buy all of the things. I have no money, but I'm totally going to use whatever I have. I'm going to check the cracks in the couch. I've obviously Star Wars. I mean, anybody who knows me knows I'm thankful for Star Wars, and but I think also mostly with Star Wars, I'm thankful for this lead up to it because it's been so much fun to have all of this time to speculate and to talk about it and to argue about what we might see. And I know, some people. I know Bibbs has mentioned a bunch of times that like, oh, but what if it sucks? But this part of it's fun.
But this part feels good.
It does.
And I accept it.
It does. I fully accept BB-8, and I don't think that BB-8 will be Jar Jar. Just saying. So happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Follow us right here on Most Craved on Twitter, and we will see you next week.